Pixie, and welcome to Pixie's Pit on Headbangers Bowl. On today's show, we will be discussing some of the highlights of last night's Fyter Fest Night 2, and we will be trying two types of limited edition chips. They are the iconic chip line, so they're iconic chips paired with iconic flavors. So this is the Lay's one. They are a sweet chili heat, and they're supposed to be based on the Doritos sweet chili heat. And we also have the Lay's All Dressed that are supposed to be based on the Ruffles All Dressed. All right, so let's get right into these chips today. Just gonna start with the All Dressed here. Let's open them up, pour some in our bowl. Okay. All right. So this is what they look like. They look quite red, maybe not as red as a barbecue chip, but they do seem to have a bit of an orangey or reddish color to it. So let's try them. So far I get sour cream and onion. Vinegar. A little bit of barbecue. And ketchup. They have everything you could want in a chip and more. I'm gonna have to give those 9 out of 10 horns in the air because less isn't more, more is more, and that's what you're getting with this chip, more flavor in every way. All right, now we definitely have bag number 2. This is our sweet chili heat. Pour these on top here. All right, so they're actually almost the exact same color. So it's hard to tell one from the next because they're so similar in color, but we know that the sweet chili heat is at the top of our bowl. The spice is building. That does definitely taste like the Doritos version. They're hot, but not too hot. You do get a bit of a sweetness to it. It does have heat, but it's not overly hot, and it does have a bit of almost a barbecue or smoky flavor to it as well. That is also really, really good. You get a little bit of a burn on your tongue after the fact, but nothing too severe. That's also really good. 9 out of 10 horns in the air. All right. Let's get into last night's wrestling. The first match saw the Demogod, Chris Jericho, versus the Chairman, Shawn Spears. The stipulation for the match was that Spears could use a chair, but Jericho could not. Spears had a chair from the get-go, but Jericho dished out several chops, forcing Spears to drop the chair. Jericho ran at Spears and sent him flying into the barricade. Spears took a chair from under the ring and threw it at Jericho's head. Spears whacked Jericho with a chair on his injured arm and then suplexed Jericho. Jericho took down Spears with a double sledge off the top rope, as well as an avalanche hurricanrana. Spears takes a third chair and hits him in the spine. He then holds the chair against Jericho's neck, but Jericho counters with the walls of Jericho. Now the crowd went berserk. I went berserk. And you know, if you're being honest with yourself, you went berserk too. Spears tapped out, but Aubrey was distracted by Tully and didn't see it. Sammy came out and chased Tully, and Spears used another chair and delivered a C4. He tried for another C4, but Jericho countered with the Judas effect for the win. MJF comes out to booze. He says that Jericho must face Nick Gage next week with no disqualifications. Later in the night, we see Jericho cutting a promo. He has his back to the audience, and he says that next week he's going to bring the most violent and demented version of Chris Jericho to fight Nick Gage. He turns around to reveal the Painmaker. The next match was Frankie Kazarian versus Doc Gallows, accompanied by Carl Anderson. Kazarian used a drop kick on Gallows, backdrop suplex, and a massive leg drop, as well as he started gouging eyes out and pulling his beard. Hey Frankie, no beard pulling. Gallows was throwing big boots, clotheslines, an Irish whip, and he pinned Kazarian with a powerbomb. The Good Brothers continued to beat down Kazarian after the match and got him with the Magic Killer. Callis and Omega came down to the ring. Callis tells Kaz, this is what happens when you mess with the Elite, the Good Brothers, or Kenny Omega. Hangman Page comes down to the ring holding a drink. Callis says Page isn't very bright because there's 4 of them and only 1 of him. He asks Page if he's stupid or if he's just drunk. The Dark Order come down, Hangman throws punches, does a buckshot lariat, and Omega retreats. The crowd was going wild for Page. The next match was Wheeler Yuta versus Darby Allin. Wheeler was accompanied by Orange Cassidy, and Darby was accompanied by Sting. Darby used the crucifix for a near fall. Yuta used an octopus submission hold, but Darby bit the ropes to break the hold. Yuta did a German suplex, but then Darby also used a suplex. Meanwhile, outside the ring, Sting and Orange Cassidy exchanged leg taps. Darby pinned Yuta. He used a stunner and a coffin drop. In the ring, Andrade introduces his new executive consultant, Chavo Guerrero. The main event was for the IWGP United States Champion. We had Jon Moxley, the champion, versus the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. I really love this match. Now, I know most people wanted Mox to win, but I was cheering for Archer. I loved Archer's entrance with the kendo sticks. Mox hit Archer with a kendo stick and they exchanged blows. Archer used a cannonball senton which landed outside the ring, which is no easy feat with Archer's height. Mox tried to tackle Archer through the barricade. The two fought into the crowd. Archer picked up a fan and actually used him as a weapon against Moxley. Mox hit the paradigm shift on Archer on the exposed concrete. Moxley used a fork and started busting Archer open on his head and face, and Mox used a steel chair on Archer's ankle. One of my favorite moments in the match is when Mox tried to deck Archer with a trash can lid, but Archer pushed it back into Mox's face. Mox tried a low blow, but Archer chokeslammed Mox onto chairs. Moxley used a King Kong lariat and a paradigm shift and tried to fork Archer in the head again. He also pulled out boards of barbed wire and set it up with tables outside the ring. Another favorite moment for me was when Archer got hold of the fork and just started repeatedly stabbing Moxley in the head with it. The match ended as Moxley was unable to answer the 10 count, as Archer had chokeslammed him into the barbed wire, and he was caught. Archer is the new champion and will face off against Hikuleo next week. All right, let me know in the comments what your favorite moments and your favorite matches from last night's Fyter Fest Day 2 were. Thank you so much for watching. If you love wrestling and heavy metal and food, you need to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay metal and goodbye and good night.